Hey, YouTube. This here is KingCobraJFS with another video. And, well, we have a bit of a problem here. I saw a story on Facebook. I'll provide a link for the story in the description box below. Now, what exactly is the story, you ask? Well, I saw a story online of a disabled Iraq war veteran who got caught with less than 1 ounce of cannabis. Less than 1 ounce. And the war veteran was smoking it for his PTSD. Do the cops in the state in which he resides care? No, because his state is a tough on drugs state. Now this amazing soldier is courageous acts in his honor, coming home to his daughter and what have you, just to get thrown in jail because the method he chooses to relieve his PTSD is illegal. Now, another thing to consider, YouTube, before you read this article is, well, we've had those shootings that have happened at those gated communities where war veterans go to live with their families. And a lot of these shootings have happened, and in almost every one of those cases, the soldier involved had PTSD and was prescribed a prescription pharmaceutical to treat the PTSD. And is that not coincidental enough? Now, when I think of a soldier smoking pot for his or her PTSD, because let's put yourself in their shoes for a second. Let's say you're fighting overseas and you have kids at home, and your commanding officer says, "Soldier, you gotta kill that kid, but that kid is a threat to your platoon. Now kill that kid, goddammit." So you're instructed to kill someone else's kid in the line of duty, so to speak. Now, can you imagine then going home to your kid and getting to hug and hold them, knowing that some parent out there is not going to be able to hold their kid because you shot them, all in the line of serving your country? And that's not the least of it, no. It gets a lot worse than that. Some of these soldiers lose arms and legs from battle, and you want to sit there and tell them they can't smoke pot even though they fought for your goddamn country? When I say I am sick and tired of the fucking drug war, read the article I've posted for you in the link in the description box below, and you'll see just like how sick and tired I am. You read the story, and by the time you're done reading the story, you're going to be sitting there with your teeth clenched like... I saw that someone posted the story on Facebook, and I am beyond outraged. So let's add insult to injury. You're going to throw a fellow veteran. Some of these cops might have fought in wars, so in some cases you're throwing a fellow veteran. In some cases you're not. Either way, it's still pretty bad. Okay, so you're going to throw a soldier with PTSD in jail because they chose to smoke pot for their PTSD. Well, the law says that marijuana is illegal in some states and blah, 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 blah. Kiss my ass burgers. They fought for your country so you can just throw them in jail. That's bullshit. And on top of that, taxpayers' money in the particular state in which he resides, the taxpayers' money, the money that comes out of taxpayers' back pockets, pays the jail to throw him in jail. So it's like, not only is it kind of shitty that, you know, you get cops that may or may not have fought in a war throwing a fellow vet or just a veteran in jail, you know what I'm saying? But on top of that, your taxpayers' dollars in that particular state is what's housing this person for a minor non-violent drug offense. And the only reason that people say marijuana is a drug is because the DEA and the government have classified it as such. If the government did not classify pot as a drug, it would not be considered a drug. It would be considered a plant. Now, this is where I get a little bit confused about the marijuana laws here. In several states are medical marijuana friendly. There's a couple states that are recreational and medical. There are some states that are not quite there, but they're getting there. And the United States government will sit there and tell you that if you smoke pot or do research on it and it's illegal in your state, you can get arrested for it. Yet the United States government has said that marijuana is a Schedule I narcotic. Smoking it and doing research on it is supposedly punishable by some serious hard time. And yet the United States government has a pot farm in Mississippi where they're doing their own research on it. Oh, say what? Smell that? It smells like hypocrisy. The very same government that tells us we can't do research on it is doing research on it right now. Now, in recent months, Congress has said that, well, if enough states legalize it, we'll reconsider rescheduling it. What the fuck? Okay, Congress is supposed to represent its people. And when its people say we're sick and tired of this fucking drug war, imprisoning our veterans for doing nothing more than trying to treat their fucking PTSD. And what do they sit there and do? When we ask Congress, hey, could you legalize pot? That's kind of, you guys have the power to do that, you know? And what do? Behind closed doors, do. Well, what should we do? Well, let's just give them that plan. What plan? So then they come out of the little smoke meeting or whatever, and they say, hey, look, if enough states legalize it, we'll reschedule it. That's kind of meeting us halfway there. I mean, really? And not only that, but this is just one of many stories that will prove to you how infuriating the drug war really is. We're no longer arresting lengthy-haired teens listening to Pink Floyd in their parents' basement for smoking it. No, now we're arresting soldiers returning from Iraq and what have you. Soldiers returning from various wars over time are getting arrested for smoking pot because it's a Federal One substance. It's bullshit. And that Federal One substance has been proven to be less dangerous for you than about 95% of the prescription pills out there. And the only reason that marijuana is illegal is because greedy motherfucking drug companies would shit themselves. Half the time, these drug companies don't give two damns if you're dead or not. You're buying their pill, and their pill's giving you 10 side effects for the one cure you need it for. And do they give a shit? No, as long as they're making money off of you and you're in the grave, they don't give a shit. And then they can sit there and say, well, we told you with the disclaimer of side effects, because you take a pill, you get side effects you don't want. You think that they're liable for lawsuit when they clearly list the side effects of their pill, if there are any, in their commercials. And they say it at the end of every commercial. And they say it real fast, hoping nobody will hear it, but they still say it so they prevent themselves from being liable for any damages done to you, the pill consumer. Now, isn't it a pharmaceutical's job to make prescription drugs that help people? It should be. You know, instead of just taking their money and killing them left and right. It's ridiculous. How many people would switch to a marijuana cigarette if it was legal instead of taking an aspirin? Oh, boo fucking who? Poor aspirin company. 13 aspirins, you die. 13 marijuana cigarettes, you're stoned. You got the munchies. And over the years, yeah, there's been a lot of controversy circling marijuana. That's because of the administrations like Harry J. Anslinger and Mr. Hoover himself. You know what I'm saying? These people that, or not Hoover, these people who have tried their damnedest to pin a race propaganda war against a plant that's older than every fucking continent on this planet to date. Marijuana's been on this planet for over 12,000 years. And yet we're fighting a war on a plant that's older than we are. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Now, I'm sure people get tired of me bitching about the drug war on my channel, but time and time again, and some people might say, well, Josh, you think there are bigger issues to worry about? Oh, yes, of course there are bigger issues to worry about. But how the fuck can you ignore the man throwing a fucking war veteran in jail for trying to relieve his fucking PTSD the healthy and natural way? I need to smoke some of this tobacco before I've been out of cigarettes, and this big ass bag has been a lifesaver. I got like 2 more bags of pipe tobacco, plus this 4 aces, plus 2 cans of chew, so I'm set on my tobacco. But yeah, I am just all the crap going on in our world right now. This just adds to the pile. In fact, I recall a story one time that equally pissed me off as much as this one that I'm about to post in the description box below for you to read. And if you see this video, I would encourage you to read the story and see for yourself just how fucking twisted and hypocritical this justice system is. And it was a while back. This man had these cancerous sores all over his body. And in order to get rid of them, he was growing a shit ton of cannabis in his backyard, and he was extracting the plant's natural remedies and turning it into oil to rub all over his body. Okay? And the cannabis oil was actually helping reduce the cancerous sores on his body, and they were sending the cancer into remission. It was doing all this wonderful, medical, amazing stuff until one day a helicopter flies over this man's house. And lo and behold, they see a bunch of pot plants in his backyard. And pot's incredibly illegal in his state. So naturally, the cancer or not, they don't give a shit. They fucking arrest his ass. Tough on drugs, goddammit. And the judge looks at this man and he says, listen, if you use your cancer as a defense, as to say why you were growing all this pot, I'll throw your ass in jail. What kind of fucked up shit is that, you two? So when the jury asks, so Mr. So-and-so, why are you growing all this pot in your backyard? He had to say something stupid like, I was selling pot to teenagers. And so they gave him prohibition in his house where he had a more likely chance of surviving. But yeah, the judge basically told that man that if he used his cancer as a defense in court, the judge would sentence him to jail. What kind of fucked up shit is that? I guarantee you, if that judge's mom had cancer and she was smoking it for pain relief and what have you, he wouldn't say shit about it. Yeah. And that's the fucked up thing of it. It should be legal for every medical patient that deserves it and needs it. And it should be legal for recreational use. Because last time I checked, stoned people are actually pretty mellow. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get their munch on and they just chill, you know what I'm saying? They're not violent, angry people. You know what I'm saying? Until you piss us off with the fucking bullshit that the fucking drug war's been pulling. And they're no longer going after drug cartel to bust potheads and pot dealers and what have you. It's now we're going to throw a fucking veteran in jail for smoking it for his PTSD. I saw the article on Facebook and I had to make a video about it because this shit pisses me off. When is this drug war enough? How about for little girls and little boys like Charlotte who have that disorder that makes them have well over 300 seizures a day? And that if they don't get their Charlotte's Web, which is a strain of cannabis that's very high in CBD, one of the chemical compounds found in the cannabis plant, so if these children don't get the medicine that actually helps them with their disease, they become vegetables and they die. Yeah, think about that, Congress. How many cancer patients and children are going to die before you fucking say enough's enough? How many fucking troops are you going to throw in jail for smoking it for their PTSD before enough's enough? How many people in this beautiful country of the United States of America are going to raise their voice and say, we want pot legally, we want it legal now, before enough's enough? And this is what makes me scratch my fucking head. This is what really makes me scratch my fucking head. A lot of the politicians that get elected into Congress are bought out by Big Pharma because politicians love money. And then you see how much fucking money cannabis has made Colorado in the last couple of years. And it's a wonder that politicians aren't fucking face-palming themselves and going, why the fuck is it not legal already? 15 minutes of fuck this drug war right up the ass. Hashtag legalize it. Oh, but people say if you smoke pot, you'll amount to nothing in your life. Here's a couple of interesting facts for you. Albert Einstein had Asperger's syndrome, and guess what? He smoked pot, and people thought he was brilliant. Walt Disney, the creator of Mickey Mouse, smoked pot, and people loved his cartoons, and a lot of people still watch his company's channel to this day. Steve Jobs smoked pot, and he created Apple software and what have you. And people say that's an internet rumor. Look at Apple's new fortress. It's in the shape of a circle. And coincidentally enough, Mickey Mouse's ears are the shape of circles. And what does that have to do with anything, you ask? In that 70s show, they called marijuana circle because you got a group of friends sit in a circle and then smoke the weed, take a hit, pass it to the next person, and put it in rotation. And at what point do you read another article about how fucked up this drug war is before enough's enough? 58% of Americans now supports legalization of cannabis and hemp for industrial use. And after you see a video like this and you read the article in the description box below, how could you still be in favor of this drug war? And going back to the people who are prank calling me at my job to cyberbully me, the people who did it before got star 69 and they were reported to the police in their area. So, really is your choice. You can choose to harass me online and I'll delete your comment. If it keeps up, then I'll remove you from my channel and block you so I don't have to deal with it. But if you start prank calling my ass, then your ass is getting starred 69, and guess what? The cops are getting involved, and cyberbullying is actually a crime. Believe it or not. And what you're doing is you're bullying an autistic on YouTube. I hope you feel better about yourselves, fucking dickheads. I lost a relative to cancer, YouTube. And I lost a relative to Alzheimer's because in the last 2 weeks of his life, my great-grandfather and his Alzheimer's, 97 years old, decided he didn't want to eat. Just gave up on life. Just said, fuck it. 2 weeks later. And what's ironically sick about this is that the day I'm going to my aunt's funeral, who died of cancer, we find out that my great-grandfather just died. Like, the very same day I'm going to a funeral, another one of my relatives dies. I'm like, well, that's just a great way to cap off summer, isn't it? And what really pisses me off is that marijuana has been known to help treat and cure cancer. And there's been some research done that suggests that marijuana can be used to treat Alzheimer's disease. So you can imagine, ever since my aunt died, I've dedicated since that day I will not stop fighting this goddamn drug war until pot is legal. I'm sick and tired of it. How many men and women in this beautiful country who could use it right now to relieve the pain in their ailments? You know what I'm saying? Legalizing pot actually allows cops to do one thing: go after actual hardened criminals. Well, here's a bank robber. Why don't you catch him? Well, here's a child molester and a rapist and a fucking meth head and a cannibalistic and a murderer. See, all these kinds of people, they belong in prison. A non-violent pot smoker. Wow. So imagine, if you will, you just fought for your country and you made it home safely to your loving children, and you have PTSD, and all of a sudden you want to smoke pot for your PTSD, and your local state says, fuck you, we don't care if you fought for our country, you're going to jail for smoking that. And it was less than 1 fucking ounce. That's the thing that irks me about it. It wasn't even, now that's a lot of weed, yes, but it's not a shit ton of weed, you know what I'm saying? It's beside the point. You have to throw a veteran in jail because they want to smoke pot for their PTSD. They've earned the right to smoke a little bit of pot, if you ask me. They fought for our goddamn country. They've seen their fellow comrade, men and women, die at the hands of the enemy. I don't know if I made my point clear enough, YouTube. I really don't. I hope I did. This article, I'm so mad I'm shaking right now. You see shit like that, it makes your skin crawl, YouTube. These crooked cock-sucking politicians who make money off their goddamn campaigns through the goddamn drug companies who pay to keep it illegal because they want to see you sick. It's all a circle of twisted, corrupted, hypocritical bullshit lies. And now they're saying marijuana can be used to treat ADHD. I knew that from the get-go. I already knew that from the get-go. You want to know why? Because when you have ADHD, your mind runs at about 40 million thoughts a second. And smoking pot actually slows down your brain function a little bit. So I imagine the combination of the two, it slows your brain down just enough to think. You can smoke enough to slow your thought process down to where you can actually function to have a normal day without smoking to get stoned. There's a difference. Smoking to get medicated and smoking to get stoned. There is a difference between the two. You smoke enough to feel its effects and reward yourself with its medical benefits versus smoking to just get fucking annihilated. Big difference. And yeah, there are some people who smoke pot and they eat the munchies and they play video games and they make stoners look bad, man. Because not every stoner eats junk food and sits on their ass all goddamn day. That's a negative cliche. What the fuck would I know? And there are a lot of people who have cancer who probably would love to have some of that natural pain relief, but they don't want to smoke it because they don't want to risk getting caught. And that's what irks me about it the most, is that people are afraid to have the medicine they rightfully deserve because they don't want to get arrested for it. So then what? You get cannabis oil for your child? Does that mean you arrest the child for using it for their seizures? Seriously, I want you to look me in the fucking face. Any cop watching this fucking video, any fucking DEA cocksucking agent, right now, look me in the fucking face and tell me you would arrest a child for using cannabis for their fucking seizures. Would you do it? Even though marijuana is illegal, would you fucking do it? I didn't fucking think so. Some of these DEA agents have children of their fucking own. So put that into perspective for a second. If their children had that fucking disorder and that disease, it'd probably be a different story, wouldn't it? The only thing Reefer Madness did was spread negative propaganda against cannabis and create a fucking hate war against race. It's stupid. I'm sick of this drug war. I want to corner this fucking drug war in a dark alleyway and slowly take my time murdering it piece by fucking piece, like the disgusting animal that it is. Oh, okay, but I hear a lot of concerned parents. But what about the children? If pot were legal, how many fucking drug dealers do you know check for ID? If pot was legal and regulated in the controlled dispensaries, you walk in there and try to buy pot, they'd be like, well, you need to have a state ID that says you're old enough to buy this product, or you need to have a doctor's note that says you have a green card and what have you. But some parents don't want pot legal because, oh, children would have easier access to it. You know, it's a lot easier to get pot from a drug dealer than it is to buy cigarettes and alcohol if you're a minor. I'm telling you right now. And I'm old enough for both of them. Do I buy from minors? Fuck no. Now, how many people come up to me asking, well, hey man, can you get me a bottle? How old are you? Well, I'm not old enough. I'm like, no man, get the fuck out of here. Go somewhere else with that. Well, come on, man, I want a drink. I'm like, I know you want a drink because life's depressing. But here's the thing. I'm not buying alcohol from minors. So fuck you. Whatever, man, you're a dick. Like, yeah, you're right, I am, I guess. Now, adolescence can be challenging, but, you know, as hypocritical as it is for me to say it, because there's been more than one drinking video of me on YouTube, you could at least wait till you're 21 to drink, because it's all downhill from there. A very slow and yet fast descent from there. So once you're 21, you're old enough to buy. You don't have to go up to somebody you know and blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You just walk into the fucking store, show them your ID, and got the cash, here you go. And coincidentally enough, alcohol prohibition is doing the exact same fucking thing cannabis prohibition is. Putting money in the hands of cartel and creating illegal narcotic crime that doesn't need to be there. But the minute alcohol got regulated, legalized, and taxed, it's being sold at responsible locations. And as pot is slowly being legalized, the exact same thing is happening. It's being taxed, it's being sold in dispensaries, and you know what I'm saying, it's being regulated. Picture, if you will, the B-roll of alcohol, tobacco, firearms, cannabis, hemp, and explosives, and narcotics. And this is what gets me, is in 1900, Google this. Black tar heroin was for sale in the Sears catalog in 1900. Google it. And you'll be amazed. Hell, Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it. So this country wants to fucking preach that drugs are a problem and drugs are bad. Bullshit. Our country was founded on drugs, man. Instead of incarcerating drug offenders, if the drug of choice is truly affecting their ability to live a productive life, instead of incarcerating them, offer them treatment options. That's a much better spent time of taxpayers' money than just throwing them in prison with the rest of the degenerates and criminals and what have you. You want to hear a really disgusting joke, YouTube? But because of the drug war, it kind of stings because it's true in a sense. So this pothead goes to jail, right? And he sees two other people in prison with him in his cell. And he says, what are you in for to the first guy? First guy says he's in prison for robbing a bank and killing a man. And then the second person, he's just kind of sitting there rocking in the corner back and forth on his knees. And the pothead goes, well, what are you in jail for? Second person says he's in jail for murder, cannibalism, necrophilia, serial killing, homicide, and sadistic rape. And they both go, and then the guy who robs the bank says, what are you in fucking jail for? The pothead says, I got busted with weed. And the second guy just starts laughing his ass off. So this is how we treat our vets. And wasn't Veterans Day not too long ago? I believe it was. Nice one, people. Real fucking nice. If you don't believe me, I'll post the link in the description box below and you can see it for yourself. Thanks for watching and see you next time.